Welcome. Welcome to What's Your Gripe Senior Edition, the podcast for seniors to air all their gripes and grievances about life and life's changes. I'm your hostess, Barb Kaufman, a card carrying member of AARP and the wife to a cantankerous individual who understands firsthand what it is like to celebrate multiple birthdays. With me today is Margie On. Margie is owner of the Sage Senior Transitions, where she provides senior home coaching and quality of life advocacy for families and their senior loved ones. She is also a certified aging in place specialist, a dementia doll trainer, and a dementia champion. Her mission is simple: help seniors and their families by working with them through the stages of decision making so that they feel safe, supported, and cherished. So, welcome, Margie. Today, What's Your Gripe Senior Edition? Today's topic is going to be ageism. What specifically is ageism?
Well, ageism is simply, in simplest terms, prejudice, bias, or stereotyping based on age. So I would like to say that we would be innocent of doing that, but that would be a falsehood because we have all at one time or another in our lives practiced ageism. But what we're trying to do here today is just raise awareness of it so that we can not continue the practice of ageism.
So basically, it's like stereotyping. People look at me and they stereotype me and figure, oh, she needs to have a cane or whatever, hearing aid, whatever.
It could be something like that. I mean, if you're in the workplace, it might be somebody saying, oh, you don't know how to do that. You're too old to, maybe they're assuming you wouldn't know how to use certain software. Um, for instance, I get it uh, from my son all the time, who's much younger than me. But the other day I said to him, well, what do you know about artificial intelligence? And he really couldn't answer me. And I said, what is Claude? What is Perplexity? What is Discord? What is Midjourney? He had no idea what any of those things were. And I said, okay, I'll make it easy. What is Chat GTP? And then he understood, and even his girlfriend said, well, I don't even know all those things. And I said, well, I've been looking into it and I've been trying to apply some of that to some of the things I do. So that would be an example of ageism maybe in the workplace.
Okay. So, what are some subtle signs against ageism that people might not realize?
Well, like for instance, and I've done this myself, taking my mom out to a restaurant, and because I know what she likes to eat and what she wanted, I would order for her. Now she didn't care so much, but I mean, sometimes it's the type of situation where you just need to respect each other and allow, people to make those decisions on their own. Maybe you've heard, I mean, I know we, you and I are guilty of it. We say it to each other all the time, but you're pretty sharp for your age. And that is a form of also a form of ageism.
And here I thought you were praising me. Okay. All right. Guess that's ageism. All right.
Well, I'm not sure if it is when old people are doing it to each
Well, that
other,
was
but
my
I
next
think it
question.
is.
That's my next question. How can I respond to you or someone who makes an ageism comment?
Well, I tend to do it with humor. I'll say things like, well, you're never too old to learn, or I'm I'm certainly not, I'm certainly, can understand this. I'm not too old to understand what you're saying. Or one I like to use, especially with like my son and stuff, is actually I know more about technology than you do. So, sometimes you can just do it with humor. Wisdom marinates over time.
Yeah, that's true.
What was one of your favorites? Something about wine.
Yeah, I'm like a fine wine. I improve with age.
There you
So
go.
there you
Something like
go. All right. So what can seniors do to stay relevant in the workplace or in their community?
Well, I think one thing we can do, especially in the workplace, I know I'm doing this right now with my son's girlfriend, is just collaborating, just sharing ideas, coming together, being open to learning from each other. Certainly, if you are in the senior realm, if you are in that age group, we have learned a lot in life. And so there are things that we can pass on to the younger generation that would be valuable. And, really all generations have to be open to supporting each other and learning together.
So why does the younger generation dismiss us if we have all these great experiences and opinions and this sage wisdom that we want to pass on to everybody?
Well, I know it's been a long time, but at one point we were young also. And I mean, I can remember looking at my parents and thinking they didn't know anything. You go through that period of time where you are maturing. Um, so, a lot of times, sometimes the younger generation might be thinking that we're out of touch or we don't know the most recent trends. I certainly think social media has bridged that gap a lot where there's just so much more information out there. I know myself, I do try to stay in touch with what's going on out in the world and just remaining relevant.
And actually, you said social media. Social media is also a way to keep in touch with your grandchildren uh, on a day-to-day basis or weekly basis or monthly.
Absolutely. And I mean, nobody is too old to learn new things.
So, speaking of new things, I've been watching television and there's a lot of different drug ads on, especially for the older generation. How can seniors advocate for themselves in a healthcare setting?
Well, I mean, sometimes I get frustrated when I hear a doctor say, that's just part of aging. And one thing you can say is, it might be common for somebody my age to have these aches and pains, but I mean, surely there's something we can do about it. It's not normal for me to have my knee hurting or, wake up in the morning with a crick in my neck. What kind of things can I do to help myself with this? So, certainly don't just take what is said, push back a little, find out more information, and find out how you can advocate and take care of yourself for sure.
One thing I do, which I did for my kids when we were going to the pediatrician, is I take notes and I take questions along with me. This is
That's
what
a
you're doing.
Yes, that's a very big and important thing because especially as we age, I mean, there's currently 10,000 people a day turning 65 in the United States. So that's a huge number of people. And at some point, you might reach a point where you're going to need the assistance of a loved one. You know, Generally it falls on your children. And when you're taking good notes, it's going to make it seamless for them to understand what's happening and be able to advocate for you, especially if you can't advocate for yourself.
I know when I went through a recent healthcare crisis, my kids sent us all up with a Google Doc. So everything was in one place and they could read
Oh,
it. Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's a brilliant idea. And again, technology that someone might think an older person couldn't handle, anybody can learn anything. I mean, you learned that.
Yeah. Old dog, new tricks. Yeah. Um, well, you were talking about advertising in the media. Is the media a proponent? Do they reinforce these stereotypes, do you think, or are they breaking it down at this point?
Well, I think eventually they're going to have to because their market is shifting. I mean, I can remember when my son was young, and I don't want to say the channel, but every show on that channel, the adults were bumbling idiots and the kids were always saving them from themselves. And that was just a blatant uh ageism going on there. And so
Was
I
it
think we're
unintentional? Do you think they
oh
were?
my gosh, it was so intentional that all the adults were bumbling idiots. All these shows on this particular channel. So yeah, that was just something that was happening at that time. But I would hope that at some point we're going to start seeing more shows with older actors and actresses. I know British TV, they have a lot of that. They have a lot of their older actors and actresses are in their TV shows.
Hmm.
So I would hope that it's going to start coming this direction.
Well, we'll see. Recently in the media right now, there's a very popular channel where they are the people are suing the production company because they're saying that the heroines are too old now. Uh,
Oh,
yeah. So, and it's one that
well, we
you'd
vote
like
with
to
our
watch.
dollars. And right now, the people who are 60 plus, we are the baby boomers are one of the richest generations in the country. So you just have to vote with your dollars.
Well, if ageism is unintentional, what can I do to address it? What can we all do?
Um, well, I mean, one thing you can do is call it out. You can you can politely and kindly is how I like to do it. For instance, I was in a supermarket recently to purchase gift cards, which I couldn't find because I didn't have my glasses on me, but the lovely young lady helped me find them. And then as she was ringing them up, I commented that I loved the music that was being played because, of course, it was disco music, and that was my era. And she said, well, that's old people music. The only one that listens to it is my father. And I said, and me too. I was listening to it and enjoying it. I said, you just, I really don't understand the music of the current generation, just as you don't understand or appreciate the music of mine. But there's a lot of things that we can enjoy together. I'm sure there's some music that you might enjoy from that era, just as I'm sure there's some from yours that I could enjoy. We just have to remain open-minded and willing to listen. I
And
don't know.
also, I would say watch phrases like over the hill, although I like to say I'm over the hill and starting up the rise. So things
I
like that.
know. I did it yesterday. I friended somebody on Facebook and she commented back and I said, "Oh my goodness, if you think you're old, I must be ancient." Ha ha ha. And after I said it, I thought, "Oh gosh, I'm just as guilty as the next person in not recognizing and really what it is it's we're actually, demeaning ourselves or kind of putting ourselves down and we shouldn't be doing that."
So I guess it's a challenge to fight ageism, but I guess some of the takeaways would be stay current on things that are happening in the marketplace or in the media or in social as much as you can. What other tips?
Well, I mean, and just constantly, I mean, I'm always looking for ways to interact with the next generation. It could be a Bible study, it could be a book club. Um, just being more inclusive in things, not making it just a book club for seniors or something like that. Remain inclusive, invite people in, be open-minded, be willing to listen and learn and understand and empathetic. And some of the best times can be with, for instance, I'm in a Bible study where the young woman just had a baby. And so it's all exciting and she's excited but overwhelmed. And so all of us that have been down that road are happy to share, whatever we might have learned that might help her, but at the same time, not make her feel anything but excited about her trip ahead with her new baby.
Sounds great. So before we close, how can people reach out to you and discover more about this topic, about ageism, uh, and your business?
Well, you can visit my website, sageseniortransitions.com, and I'm all over social media. I post pretty much every day something that has to do with aging and seniors and topics like that. So that would be a great way to connect.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have today. Today we did discuss about ageism. If you like the show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell, and also write your comments. And if you have a gripe, let us know about that in the comments as well, and we'll make sure that your gripe gets heard. Thank you. Have a great day. Margie, thank you for being with us.